So what is going on, Predators? So real quick, we're going to do a quick app update for the HuntStand app. There are some new features that are released that are going to be very beneficial to you. If you haven't watched the other review already, I'm going to put a link at the top over here so you can follow that. Also check the description. I'll put a link in the description below so you can check out my original long deep dive review. This right here is just going to be for some app updates on the phone here. I'm going to be using my Android phone here. This is a OnePlus 9 5G, so use that as a reference where we're coming from here. But anyways, without further ado, let's do further. So the first thing that we've got here in the app that's going to be new is the weather data. So I'm scrolling across the top here in the tools on the HuntStand app here. So we've got the map editor, hunt zone, weather, Solunar, offline maps, which I can download offline maps, and I can download an unlimited number of maps, which we'll get into in a minute. I got stand reservation, so if we're using a group hunting area, then I can reserve a stand for a certain date, so I can make sure that one of my buddies doesn't end up in there before me. I can track my harvest, sightings, trail cams, which is all, and the tasks, which is all stuff that's been there previously. The group board has gotten a little bit better, where it can do more social interaction with the people that are part of a hunting area. I've got a friend locator, so if I got several people out in the field, we can find each other a lot easier. So if somebody shoots a big buck, and he says, hey, I'm down in this gully down here, I can just find him by looking at this. He just turns his location finding on, and I can see him on my map. So that's really cool. And lastly, they've gotten some really good updates for the land for sale through TerraStride, and you can find your own piece of hunting property by using this app. So let's go start back over here at the beginning, and I've also got some more map overlays too, but we'll check that out in just a minute. The first thing we're going to start with is the weather. So when the weather, whenever I normally would come in here, I've got a list of where the weather is in that area, and it also gives me the hunt zone where I can see where the wind direction is going to be coming from as well. But what's really nice is now I can go to weather maps here. I touch that. Okay, so now it brings me into the map here. So I basically have now the ability to check a lot of different weather settings here. So you can see down at the bottom of the screen down here in this little black tab, I've got the ability to skip dates. So I can go from Monday to Tuesday. You can see the actual date where it is here. Across the bottom, I can check the different hours, right? If I open the weather layers here, then I have a few options as well. So I can just take everything off. I can add the radar, precipitation, snow accumulation, temperature, fires, fire outlook, the drought monitor. And you can see now that the screen turns kind of blue there on the map, and that's basically indicating that it's colder out there. I can look into more detail if I go into the detailed forecast, and I can see the actual temperature of that location. But I'm going to go ahead and turn that off because it's obscuring the map and I don't want it right now. But you can see everything else that I've got set up here. There's not much going on here in this hunt area, but let's go zoom all the way out nationally and we can see what's going on. These colors and everywhere, these are the drought monitor, the fire outlook and stuff like this. And so as I zoom into an area, let's just go over here to Colorado. So you can see that there's the drought monitor and the fire outlook. I can turn on and off here, so I can see any actual fire. So you can see right here in this area, in Mountain Horse Creek, it is definitely under a fire outlook there. It's a higher risk of fire right now. I was looking earlier, and if I look over here by Salt Lake City, look, you can see fires. Look at all the fires that are going on in California right now. Pretty crazy. You can see in the Sequoia National Forest, we've got fires right in there. You can zoom into that and get more specific areas there. Let's go look up north in Canada. We can see whenever there's going to be snow in the area. Okay, so I'm gonna turn off some of this stuff because we're done with that. So yeah, you can see the snow accumulation in different areas. Okay, and then also again, I can change this by hour, right? I can see where the snow is going to be falling and where it's going to be going. Okay, let's go to the East Coast over here. I can look at, and I can see now, you see the radar on there, so you can see that the weather radar is on there, and it's based on every hour, so I can change it, and it looks like it's showing me where the radar is going to go here as we approach a new day. So you can see every hour it changes that radar as well. So really cool. This is on map layers. I can go back to current, which shows the current conditions of where we're at, and again I can go back to the detailed forecast once again. And now I'm back into more detailed wind speed, pressure in inches of mercury, visibility and stuff like that. I can also get weather graphs here now, so I can show the temperature over a range, the chance of participation over a range, and even go to a 5-day forecast here. So I can get the outlook of what my weather's going to be like in my current area for 5 days. All right, next over here, the Solunar stuff is, I think it's had an update. I'm not 100% sure if this was there before, but now it actually shows your peak game activity times, so like the major and minor movement times. So I can see right now, if I were out there hunting, it looks like the 2:35 to 5:37 is going to be their main movement time. That's probably where the bucks are going to be moving to. Let me go jump over here to Thursday, because I might actually, or let's do Friday, because I might actually have a chance to go hunting on Friday here. So it's the major time 5:48 to 8:50. So looks like hunting is going to be good in the morning on Friday. And like I say, right around the time that the sun starts getting low in the sky, around 5 p.m. to 8 p.m., that's whenever they're going to have a secondary movement time. So there's a good chance that I could find a big buck roaming around in that time there. Some people don't really believe this. They believe more in the weather drives this. And I think up north you have a lot of that, where the weather affects the movement of the animals more than anything. But down here in the south, there's other factors in there. And one of them is that with a more constant weather, where it's constantly warmer and drier over here, there's a lot more chance that the moon is going to influence the movement of the deer, because they might be out all night feeding whenever there's a full moon, because they can feel safer and see better predators. When it's very, very dark outside, they're going to be bedded down, because they can't, even though they have much better eyesight in the dark than we do, they still are limited by what they can do based on the stars and the moonlight. So keep that in mind. Offline maps. Let's go ahead and check in here. We can download another map, so you can see I've got one downloaded here. I've got another one here. You see that little icon right there, the cloud there. So it was downloaded on October 20th, so it's recommending that I go ahead and update that. So I can just click that. I can rename it. Okay. Touch it here, and now it's going to see, now it already set it up to download again. Okay. Let's download a new map, though. Let's go ahead and just, let's choose something. I don't know. Let's go to New Mexico. Or no, let's go to Salt Lake City. I go out to Salt Lake City quite a bit, so just select that map right around that area. Let's go ahead and go into the Wasatch Mountains out here, and I'm just gonna hit download. So name it. I'm just gonna call this Wasatch Range. Okay, done. All right, now you can see in the background, I'm downloading the map there. So I've tried this before. I've already deleted several of them, but I can download basically as many apps, as many maps as I need to. I don't think there's a limit on here or anything, so it's really good, and I get a lot of space to save all my offline maps there. And so I know if I'm going to be bouncing between areas, that I can have plenty of maps saved there. And as you see, as I go out further and further, I can save and download more of that map information. Whenever I do download that map information, I believe too that it also downloads all the weather information for that area, so I can get the forecast downloaded with the map before I go out in the field. So let's talk about some of the new map overlays. One of them is going to be an update to the 3D. So the 3D view just works a lot better. It's a lot smoother, a lot faster than previous versions. Or in the previous versions, I had a little bit of an issue where it worked really good and I had no issues, but it was just kind of slow to load. Had to take a minute or two to load. Not a minute or two, it was more like 20-30 seconds, but at max. Okay, so we can look out here. Like I said, I can zoom into this area and you can see how it loads in all the detail super fast. And look at how beautiful those mountains look. So if I'm out and I'm standing here on the ridge of a mountain and I see an animal way across this other ridge, this is a beautiful feature to be able to see exactly where they are, and I can kind of rotate the map around and see exactly what I have to travel through to get to that animal. Really, really cool feature. And sometimes, man, it just looks so good and so clean. I almost want to just sit there and look at the map in 3D sometimes, because it's almost just fun to see. It's almost like I'm being transported to that place there, and I can see exactly what the ridges and the peaks look like, and I can see the perspective of what the other peaks look like and the other saddles and everything from being on a specific mountain. Let's see. So next over here, we're going to jump down to the monthly satellite. This is a new one that's really valuable too, because it shows you in a specific month and year exactly what that area looked like. So I can jump from this little area here in the mountains, okay, and I can see jump from, let's say we're in October 21. I don't have one for November yet. It is November. But let's say I want to look at this last year, how it looked last year. Of course, at this time last year, looked about the same. Let's go to 2017. I think that was a pretty dry, yep. So as you can see, the map satellite here shows that it was a pretty dry year in 2017, and so it looks vastly different. Well, now let's look at this area again up in the mountains in January of 2018. You can see all that snowfall and snow accumulation on the mountains here. And so you know that if I go here in January 28, or if I go here in January of pretty much any year, I'm going to have a pretty good amount of snow on the ground, right? And you know, January obviously it's very dead of the winter, so you should have snow on the ground. But let's check March. Has the snow gone away yet? For the most part, yeah, it's still snowy on top, so it's still cold on the top of the mountains, which got high in the mountains. I would expect it to be, but this is going to be a really good tool for seeing, you know, kind of when that snow is there and when that snow goes away. Let's look at April. So you can see the snow is kind of receding by April, and I can go back and check every year and see, and that's still about the case every year. So really helpful information. The downside to this is that the maps are not super high resolution because they're just a monthly like information like data grab or whatever, but it's still very helpful. And lastly over here, I've got one of the new updates is going to be the Mapbox satellite has gotten a lot higher resolution in my opinion. So before it was really cool and it was very vivid and things like that. But now the data has gotten very, very clean. You can see how it looks. It's got the topo laid over the top of it here. So it's got the topographical information laid over the top of it here. But it's very, very good, very, very detailed. What's really interesting about it too is that it's very high contrast. And so I feel like, especially in the areas that I've been using it and the places I hunt, that it's actually more accurate to what the eye sees than the regular maps here. And as I can see, I go through here, you can see it's still nice. It's much sharper than it used to be, but it's still got that really nice, vivid look. So anyways, Mapbox satellite, great improvement, and it's been working very well as well. And lastly, the ATA locations has expanded greatly, and it's got a lot more data here. So anywhere that I have an Archery Trade Association location, basically like any Bass Pro shops or any kind of archery shop, like say I've got one here. This is Advantage Archery, and this is in Twin Falls, Idaho, and it shows me all the information, the phone number, the address, the website. All this stuff is available for me there. So if I need to go get some work done in the field, then I can get that done here. One thing that's really cool is for equipment. So it says for sale. I found a couple places that actually have loaner equipment too. So if I'm out in the field and let's say a string breaks on my bow and it's just catastrophically broken, some of these places I can actually go and get a loaner bow just to make sure I can finish the hunt. All right. So last couple things I wanted to talk about, like I say, there's the land stuff. So if I go all the way over here on my map tools, by the way, for the trail cams and some of these other things, I'm going to be doing an update on the I'm going to be reviewing the desktop version of it. So stay tuned for that, maybe the next review here. And under land for sale, this has gotten really a lot bigger too. So it's brought to you by Land Broker. Basically what it is, it puts these little markers on the map and it shows me all the land for sale in the area. So I can go through and I can find, you know, large or even sometimes smaller, like 2 or 3 acre plots of land without having to search through like all the houses and things like that. I just can look for pieces of land here. If I want to have my own hunting property, my own hunting area, I can search the map for this. Over here on the side, I've even got a list. I got a big list of all the all the places in the area, and then I can filter it down and look at the place here. So really cool if you're looking for your own piece of land. Great tool, great app. The updates have just made HuntStand even more relevant. And one of the things I wanted to point out is that I had a user give me some feedback where he said I wasn't too happy with the amount of markers that HuntStand had on the app. He said it only gives you like a few things for like waterfowl and for deer and turkey. Well, I just wanted to say that there's actually sections on the map here. So let's go back to the map editor here. All right. So let's look at this. So down under objects, I've got, okay. So if I change the marker type, I've got these different things right here. Then I've got deer. I got a few things for deer, like, you know, ground binds, bedding, like marking, droppings, tracks, and things like that I found. I got a thing for turkey. I've got tracks, feathers, scratching, scat, wingtip marks, all this kind of stuff. And so he's like, well, you know, I want other animals over there as well. He was referring to my review of the base map app where I said that there wasn't enough markers, and I missed some of the markers in there, and I made sure to comment that below and put that in the description that I did miss some. But I wanted to show you that over here on HuntStand that they do have a lot of the same markers. So if I go over here to harvests, I can add a marker anywhere. So tap that, add a marker. And it says, what do you harvest? Now here's where I get into all the different animals that I can mark here. And this is the same for harvests and for sightings and all this stuff. But basically I've got the deer, I got a buck and a doe, I got turkey, waterfowl, big game, I got predators like coyotes and things like that, hogs, alligators, small game, and others. So there's a lot of really detailed information inside of these. One of them that's actually really specific is turkey and deer. So if I add my harvest here, it actually asks for the left and right spur size, the weight of the animal, and it automatically fills in all the weather and pressure data here, which is really great. Then also if I go over here and let's say it wasn't turkey, let's say it was a buck, if I touch here, then you can see that I can add the left and the right antler, how many points each one of them had. So if it's like a 4x4 or a 4x3 or 6x5, whatever it is, I can add that here in the app. So it's got really good detailed stuff here. If you think that there's any suggestions, I know the HuntStand guys often watch my videos. They use my last review that I posted in the description below to show all their employees in a meeting to make sure that they can do proper updates to the app. And the really cool thing about TerraStride, the people that make the HuntStand, is they listen to our input. So if you have any suggestions to make the app even better than it's already gotten and more thorough than it's already gotten, please put that in the comments below, and hopefully they'll see it. I'll tag these guys if I can in your comments. So let's help grow the app and make it even better than it is. They got the best, to me, I say they have the best map resolution, the best measuring tools, and some of the best stuff, especially if you're going to be managing a property by yourself. So anyway, guys, if you have any suggestions to add to this video or anything that I missed, please comment down below. Thanks for liking and subscribing to the video, because that's how we grow this channel. I appreciate every single one of you that do. And as always, keep defying the odds.